You're in a dusty diner, the kind where the coffee's stale and the locals keep their heads down. A stranger walks in, 6'5", built like a tank, eyes scanning every corner. Trouble follows him, but not the kind you expect. He's not here to rob the place. He's here to right a wrong, even if it means breaking a few jaws or laws along the way. That's Jack Reacher, the drifter who's got fans cheering and critics clutching their pearls. Is he a hero saving the helpless with fists and grit? Or a criminal, leaving a trail of bodies and chaos? The debate's been raging since Lee Child's first novel, and it's split readers down the middle. Want to know where the truth lies? Stick with me, because we're diving into the moral quagmire of Jack Reacher's world, unpacking 5 key angles that'll make you question what right and wrong really mean. Before we start, hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and drop a comment. Is Reacher a hero or a criminal in your eyes? Let's get into it. Jack Reacher, ex-military cop, rootless wanderer, operates in a grey zone where justice and law don't always align. To some, he's a modern-day knight, protecting the weak from predators. To others, he's a vigilante, dodging accountability while leaving wreckage behind. This isn't just a literary debate, it's a mirror to how we view morality in a messy world. Governments lie, systems fail, and sometimes the bad guy is the only one doing good. We're breaking this down through 5 lenses: Reacher's moral code, his defiance of the law, his impact on the innocent, the systems he fights, and the cost of his actions. Each one reveals a piece of the puzzle, and by the end, you'll see why Reacher's story forces us to rethink heroism itself. Let's start with lens 1. Reacher's moral code, unbending. But is it heroic? Reacher lives by a personal code forged in the army and sharpened on the road. It's simple: protect the vulnerable, punish the guilty, and never compromise. In Killing Floor, he's framed for murder but risks his life to expose a corrupt town's elite, not for glory, but because it's right. Fans call this heroic, a man standing up when others won't. His code prioritizes justice over fairness, a distinction that's key. Fairness waits for balance. Justice demands action. Reacher sees a woman abused in Echo Burning and doesn't wait for the courts. He acts decisively because the system's too slow or too dirty to deliver. To his supporters, this is heroism, stepping into the gap where institutions fail. But critics see a darker side. Reacher's code sidesteps due process. He's judge, jury, and executioner, deciding who deserves punishment without oversight. In the hard way, he kills a kidnapper without hesitation, assuming his guilt based on instinct and evidence only he verifies. Is that heroism or arrogance? Legal systems, flawed as they are, exist to prevent unchecked power. Reacher's code dismisses this, trusting his own moral compass over society's. You can test this in your life. Think of a time you saw something wrong, a workplace injustice, a bully in action. Did you act or wait for the system to handle it? Reacher's choice to act makes him a hero to some, but to others, it's a criminal's disregard for order. Try this. Next time you see a small wrong, take one step to address it, even if it's just speaking up. Feel the tension. Reacher's code thrives in that gray space. Another angle on his code: it's absolute. Reacher doesn't bend for convenience or pressure. In Bad Luck and Trouble, he avenges a murdered friend not out of rage, but because his code demands accountability. This rigidity wins fans who see him as a moral rock in a wishy-washy world. Yet critics argue it's dangerously inflexible. Reacher's black and white view ignores nuance. A villain in one story might be a victim in another, but Reacher rarely pauses for context. Reflect on this. When you judge others, say, a co-worker's mistake, do you consider their side, or do you act on your first read? Reacher's certainty is his strength, but it's also what makes him a criminal in critics' eyes. Try this. For one day before judging, ask one extra question to get context. See if it shifts your view. Let's move to lens 2. Reacher's defiance of the law. He's not just outside the system, he spits in its face. In one shot, he uncovers a sniper's frame job, but doesn't trust the police to fix it. He goes rogue, solving the case with fists and wits. Fans love this. Reacher's defiance exposes how laws can shield the powerful while failing the weak. Think of real-world cases. Corrupt officials walk free, while red tape buries the innocent. Reacher's law-breaking feels heroic when he's cutting through that rot, like in Never Go Back, where he defies military brass to protect a wrongly accused soldier. To his defenders, he's a necessary outlaw, doing what the law won't. But critics call this vigilante chaos. Laws, even imperfect ones, hold society together. Reacher's actions, breaking and entering, assault, even murder, create a slippery slope. If everyone played Reacher, would we have justice or anarchy? In Die Trying, he kills kidnappers without a trial, assuming his judgment's flawless. Critics ask, what if he's wrong? One mistake could ruin an innocent life. You can feel this tension yourself. Think of a time you wanted to take matters into your own hands, maybe confronting a rude driver or a shady co-worker. Did you act or let the system handle it? Reacher's defiance feels righteous, but it risks collateral damage. Try this. Next time you're tempted to bypass rules for justice, write down the pros and cons. Reacher's law-breaking is a gamble, heroic if he's right, criminal if he's off. Defiance also means rejecting authority. Reacher doesn't respect badges or titles unless they're earned. In the affair, he exposes a corrupt army officer, ignoring rank to uphold truth. Fans see this as heroic, a man who bows to no one but his principles. Critics, though, see a dangerous precedent. If everyone ignores authority, systems collapse. Test this. Question one rule or authority figure this week, maybe a workplace policy or a local regulation. Ask why it exists and who it serves. Reacher's defiance starts with questions. Yours can too. But weigh the cost. His path works in novels, but in life, consequences hit harder. Lens 3. Reacher's impact on the innocent. Fans argue he's a hero because he protects those the system ignores. In The Midnight Line, he tracks a stolen West Point ring to save a veteran from a drug ring, risking his life for a stranger. This is Reacher at his best, defending the defenseless, no reward needed. His actions ripple, saving lives that would have been crushed by bureaucracy or neglect. Think of real-world parallels, whistleblowers or activists who fight for the overlooked. Reacher's fans say he's their fictional counterpart, a lone warrior for the forgotten. Yet critics point out the collateral damage. Reacher's methods, violence, disruption, can harm innocents. In 61 Hours, his war on a cartel burns down a town's economy, leaving locals jobless. Heroic intent doesn't erase unintended fallout. Critics ask, does the end justify the means? Reacher saves one person but destabilizes others' lives. You can see this in your world. A protest might fight for justice but disrupt livelihoods. Is it worth it? Try this. Next time you act for a cause, say, calling out unfairness, consider who else might be affected. Reacher's focus on the immediate victim is noble, but critics say his tunnel vision makes him reckless, even criminal. Another angle, Reacher empowers the innocent. In Worth Dying For, he teaches a community to stand up to a bullying family, leaving them stronger. Fans love this. Reacher doesn't just save, he inspires, but critics argue he abandons people to clean up his mess. Once he's gone, those he empowered face retaliation alone. Reflect on this. When you help someone, say by intervening in a conflict, do you stick around to support them? Reacher's hit-and-run style is heroic for its impact, but criminal for its aftermath. Try this. Help someone this week but follow up to ensure they're okay. Reacher's fans see a savior. His critics see a ghost who leaves chaos. Quick pause. Is this debate sparking something for you? If Reacher's moral tightrope has you hooked, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and comment, hero or criminal, what's your take? Your support keeps this content coming, so let's keep the energy high. Lens 4, the systems Reacher fights. Fans argue he's a hero because he takes on corrupt systems, crooked towns, shady corporations, or dirty cops. In Make Me, he uncovers a dark web ring hiding in a small town, dismantling it when no one else would. Systems often protect the powerful, not the just, and Reacher's war on them resonates with anyone who's felt crushed by bureaucracy or privilege. Think of your own life. Ever been screwed over by a company policy, a biased boss, or a rigged process? Reach's fans cheer when he burns those systems down, seeing him as a liberator who rights structural wrongs. Critics, though, say he's a criminal because he doesn't reform systems, he destroys them. In Running Blind, Reach's pursuit of a killer disrupts law enforcement, undermining trust in institutions. Systems, even flawed ones, provide stability. Reach's wrecking ball approach risks anarchy. Critics ask, what replaces the systems he topples? He leaves towns in chaos with no plan for rebuilding. You can test this. Next time you're frustrated, buy a system, say a slow DMV or unfair workplace rule. Ask, would breaking it fix things or create worse problems? Reach's fans love his defiance. Critics fear its fallout. Try this. Challenge one small system this week, like a pointless rule, but propose a better alternative. Reacher tears down, a true hero might rebuild. Another angle. Systems aren't always the enemy. Reacher's blanket distrust, seen in Nothing to Lose, where he assumes a whole town's complicit, can oversimplify complex problems. Some systems, like public services or legal protections, exist to help, even if they're imperfect. Critics argue Reacher's criminality lies in his refusal to work within systems, even when they could serve justice. Think of a time you bypassed a system, maybe cutting corners on a form or rule. Did it help or create chaos? Reacher's war on systems feels heroic when they're corrupt, but reckless when they're salvageable. Try this. Before dismissing a system this week, find one way it could work for you. Lens 5, the cost of Reacher's actions. Fans see him as a hero because he pays a personal price, living as a drifter, no home, no ties, always hunted. In A Wanted Man, he's chased by the FBI but keeps fighting for what's right, sacrificing comfort for his cause. This selflessness screams heroism. Reacher gains nothing but bruises, yet he keeps going. Fans argue his cost. Solitude, danger, proves his purity. He's not in it for fame or money, unlike the corrupt systems he fights. Reflect on this. When you do something right, helping a friend, taking a stand, do you expect reward? Reacher's fans love that he doesn't, making his sacrifices heroic. Critics, though, focus on the cost to others. Reacher's actions, fights. Explosions, upheaval leave collateral damage. In past tense, his vendetta against a family's secrets destroys a town's peace. Critics argue a hero minimizes harm, while Reacher's body count and chaos mark him as a criminal. His freedom comes at others' expense. Businesses ruined, families disrupted. Think of a time you acted boldly. Did it hurt anyone unintentionally? Reacher's critics say his disregard for ripple effects makes him reckless. Try this. Before a big decision this week, list one potential downside for others and how to mitigate it. Reacher's fans see a martyr. Critics see a man who doesn't clean up his mess. Another cost, Reacher's moral isolation. His code lets him act without doubt, but it alienates him. In Gone Tomorrow, he's alone, trusting no one, because his standards are unrelenting. Fans admire this as heroic resolve. Critics see it as criminal hubris, a man who thinks he's above society's rules. You can feel this tension. Ever stood by a principle but lost allies? Reacher's isolation is his strength and his flaw. Try this. Stand firm on one belief this week, but notice who pulls away. Reacher's path is lonely, heroic to some, criminal to others. Let's tie it together. Is Reacher a hero or a criminal? His moral code, uncompromising justice, makes him a savior to fans but a rogue to critics. His defiance of law feels liberating when systems fail, but dangerous when it breeds chaos. His protection of the innocent inspires, yet his collateral damage alarms. His war on corrupt systems exposes their rot, but his destruction leaves voids. His personal cost, freedom, solitude, marks him as selfless to some, reckless to others. The truth reaches both, and that's why he's compelling. He forces you to question, when does heroism become criminality? When does justice outweigh order? Here's a challenge. For 48 hours, live one piece of Reacher's approach. Act on a small injustice. Question a rule. Protect someone vulnerable. Challenge a system or embrace a personal cost for what's right. Notice how it feels, heroic, criminal, or both. Reacher's world isn't black and white, and neither is yours. This debate matters because life throws you into gray zones, workplace betrayals, moral dilemmas, or systems that crush the weak. Reacher's story is a lens to navigate them, whether you see him as a hero or a criminal. One final story to seal. It. In Blue Moon, Reacher takes on rival gangs to save an elderly couple from ruin. He kills, he breaks laws, he leaves bodies, but he saves the innocent and exposes a corrupt system. Fans cheer his courage. Critics condemn his carnage. The couple's gratitude doesn't erase the blood on his hands. That's Reacher. A hero to those he saves, a criminal to those who value order. Your life has similar stakes. Stand up, and you might be both. Embrace the tension. Like, if this debate's got you fired up, smash that subscribe button, hit like and comment, hero, criminal, or something else. What's Reacher to you? Your engagement fuels content like this, so let's keep it rolling. Thanks for wrestling with Reacher's moral maze with me. Now go out there, question the lines, and live with conviction. Catch you next time.